So it's official. Dan Pitcher is officially our OC. He passed on the Saints job. Didn't even go for the other jobs, the Raiders and the Patriots. And he's going to be returning as our OC. And the only thing I can think of why this happened and worked was because he saw who the Bengals were about to interview. You know, the Afro man, but like the white version. The vanilla Afro man. Go watch earlier's video if you want to check it out, what I'm talking about. They were about to interview Andy Dickerson. And Andy Dickerson wears weird hats that has like crazy afros, okay? It's a crazy time we're living in. Nonetheless, though, Dan Pitcher saw that and thought, oh, no. He's like, no, I can't have the city that I was in for so long get absolutely demolished by a man who wears afros on his hats. And who was the Seahawks Seahawks offensive line coach for 3 seasons when the Seahawks were one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. And then was on the Rams with Coach Taylor. And then ended up getting, kicked off and put on the Seahawks. There's a whole entire video you missed if you missed the Andy Dickerson video earlier today. Because, wow, was that a roller coaster of emotions. But Dan Pitcher is now back. So Dan Pitcher now has officially won the sweepstakes of being able to sit on the sideline, drink a juice box. Maybe he even rocks the Afro hat design, whatever, and watch Coach Taylor call screen passes. Which, to be honest, listen, he's getting paid to do that, so we can't even be upset about it. No, on a real note, though, I'm excited about this. I'm really excited about this because I feel like, especially with the fact that I'm not even going to bullcrap myself, man. He's going to literally do nothing. It's going to be Zach Taylor. At least it's a new face, man. At least it's something new. Even if it's the same guy on our unit that's just being promoted straight up, at least it's something new. At least it's not the same old, and we're wondering why it's not working, and we just hear Brian Callahan come out, which I love Brian Callahan. He comes out and says, it's a personnel issue. It's a player execution issue. It's not us. It's not the coaching. It's not the playbook. As this article says, this seemed to be the way the wind was blowing. Dan Pitcher was staying with Cincinnati to succeed Brian Callahan as offensive coordinator under coach Zach Taylor. Pitcher previously interviewed with the Saints for the offensive coordinator opening and was scheduled to travel to New Orleans for a second meeting on Thursday, but never got the opportunity to speak with him now that he's staying put and taking a promotion in Cincinnati. My question is, did they not offer him the promotion because they figured that he wouldn't take it and he would go somewhere else? Or was it a combination of Zach Taylor was like, hold up, I pulled out my yearbook this weekend and I found somebody that I played with 4 years ago. Like, I wish they would tell us that information. Like, did they offer him the promotion before this? Or was this just randomly they were like, holy crap, Andy Dickerson, we told him to show up and he's wearing a Mickey Mouse costume. Like, what are we going to do here? So, like, all right, just offer it to Dan Pitcher. Like, where was the gray line here? Where did they say, all right, we cannot go with Andy Dickerson? Did they call him up and it was like a whole scandal? I don't even know what's going on here. Anyway, I don't know why Andy Dickerson is catching so many strays. But yeah, so he had a chance to do an in-person interview with the Saints, and it ended up going out the window because he accepted our job. And they didn't say anything about the Raiders job or the Patriots job or why those things fell through. But we're never going to truly know the full details and the full reason It might be something like the Saints talked to him, said something before his second interview, and it didn't rub him the right way, and then he went ahead and decided to come back to us. That could really be what it is, right? Only time a player gets rubbed the right way. Deshaun Watson forever. It's disappointing to miss out on one of the first choices for jobs, but the Saints aren't lacking for qualified candidates. That's another thing that I really thought about, was that with all the personnel, and I've said this many times, there are so many opportunities. Like, there's so little opportunities right now this year, I feel like, with coaching, head coaching, GM positions, OCs, DCs, but there's so many players in the game, or players in the game as in coaches in the game. There's so many, the supply of coaches is so through the roof that the demand for the positions, the amount of positions available, is so low. So that's kind of how I look at this. Like, and I think this is why Dan Pitcher probably thought, listen, if I don't just take the Bengals job, right, and I don't just take the promotion and stay in Cincy, if I don't get this Saints job, or I don't get the Raiders job, or I don't get the, whatever job, I'm going to go back to Cincy, most likely, and be the quarterback coach again. But there's going to be a sour taste in my mouth, and a sour taste in Cincy's mouth, saying like, hey man, you tried to leave us. And then he has to watch a new guy take his promotion and be the spot that he should have been in. So I feel like there's a lot of different factors that was being weighed. The fact that he waited to the second interview makes me think that he really might have thought like, hey, listen, I have the Saints job. It's my job. It's going to be okay. And then the second that Cincy was like, hey, nah, we're going for a new person, he was like, nope, can't let that happen. Because I feel like he always saw it, and this is just my personal opinion. I feel like he always thought that the OC job was probably on the back burner, right? He always has the OC job for Cincinnati. So if he goes out here to the Saints and the Raiders and the Patriots, he can always just come back to Cincinnati. And maybe that's what Cincinnati told him. Like, maybe they did offer him the job and say, hey, man, if you want to go out there and check out other opportunity, you always have this job with us if it doesn't work out. And then Cincy was like, you know what, we need to go find someone else then because he's getting the second interview. And then Dan Pitcher was like, okay, never mind. I'll come back. That's kind of how I feel like this went. Either that or Andy Dickerson showed up to his interview today with wearing a complete Bengal costume with a gigantic afro. And they said, no, just leave. Just leave, Andy Dickerson. Go back to your offensive line in Seattle that can't stop anything. We already have Frank Pollock. And Frank Pollock just comes out with a gigantic, even bigger afro. I gotta look up online where they sell those afro hats that Andy Dickerson goes ahead and wears. And I want to go ahead and pick that up because I feel like that would be a really good and fun video to look at. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.